What do Davide Ongaro, David Ronnefalk and Robert Battier all have in common? Well, they're all Europeans, they're all world champions, they're all gunning for the win here, but none of that would be possible without a world-class pit crew. So I went to talk to two legends of the engine game about how to make the perfect pit stop.
Not catching the fuel cap to start off with, that's the worst. That's what I keep my eye on. And how the driver comes in, if he comes in calmly. If he comes in with the brakes too hard, it's harder to pick up.
I think the key is not to try to rush too much. It's more about precision than being fast. It's important how you grab the car, where you post it, and it needs to be well synchronized.
Just slow and smooth, and make sure when the guy picks it up, he doesn't move the car about too much. It's a nice, slow process, pick it up. If he's jerking it around, it's really hard to find the fuel cap.
A race can be won or lost in the pits, right? That's a lot of pressure on you guys with the strategy and not just the mechanics of doing the refueling, but the timing as well, when to go for a pit stop.
Yes, you have to work in advance on checking how is your mileage, the potential that you can get.
It's high pressure, and then judging the right time to come in as well.
Yes.
I try and do a longer pit stop on the first one, so that you can have 30 seconds in hand then, because obviously it's a 20-minute or a 45-minute, but you could get a 45-second lap extra. You could just go over and click another lap, and then you could lose the race on the last lap. Yeah. So I try and gain 30 seconds at least on the first pit stop, because I know the tank's full up.
But sometimes when we are in between two strategy, I think he decides what he feels the most comfortable with. Because you can drive at the pace where you have the mileage, but for example for him, if he has to pull 2-3 tenths faster, the mileage drops. Like it can drop until 2 minutes.
The driver shouldn't be telling you when he should come in. He shouldn't be worrying either. He's just concentrating, and that's what you need as well. You don't want the driver worrying about when he's coming in for fuel.
Have you had any regrettable moments in pit stops?
Yeah. I've run Elliot out a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah, just trying to go too long.
And what's it like after that? Do you just sort of have a few words, or you just...
Yeah, you have a few words and that's it. You know, we all make mistakes. You know, the driver makes a lot of mistakes, but we don't complain too much to them about it. So if we do it, you know, as long as the car comes back in one piece and nothing falls off, I'm happy.
It happened to me with him to see him pushing and dropping the mileage, like coming empty because it was too much. You never say you make the pitman make the winning of the race, but they can make it lose. So yeah, we only have the negative pressure most of the time.
It can be a key time for flameouts as well. Why do flameouts often happen at that point?
I think it's if the fuel goes in too much, or you splash it over the exhaust pipe, it cools the engine down, shocks it a bit. Also, if you've got a good seal around the tank, if your fuel gun's a good seal, that's what we lost the Euros in Sweden, because it was cutting off the fuel, it was starving, it was like blocking the fuel up. So we put some grooves in the fuel gun.
Sometimes you try thousands of times, never happen, and it always happen when it should not. So with the engine, you can't be sure 100%, and that's an interesting part of the game. But it's always the most stressful part of the game. Yeah.
Thanks for your insight.
You're welcome.